What's up everybody, it is I, Hero Vange, and welcome back to another Pokemon Go PvP Timeless Cup video. Today, we're gonna break down some winning teams from some concluded Timeless Cup tournaments. One of the tournaments, actually, I was in it. Okay, actually my team is gonna be here, alright? So that's nice. And yeah, I've got 3 tournaments for you. This is just to take a peek for some inspiration, I guess, because the nice thing about the Timeless Cup, and this is something that I have been, waiting for since the Ferocious Cup, is the nice thing about the meta is, yes, you do have some strong picks, right? You got your Lapras, you got your Sealeo, you got your Dragonair. Yes, those are strong picks, but there's a lot of ways you can take down these picks. There's a lot of things that you can synergize really well to make like a solid team. So you can get creative with it, which is so nice. It's so nice after coming from, Ferocious, which was just like bap, 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 same 5 Pokemon, same 4 5 Pokemon, and then like one thing that you have like a choice of 3 Pokemon. So such a rigid structure sucks, especially if you have to practice over and over and over and over again to get good. So yes, Timeless Cup looking good. But before we get into the first tournament, make sure to watch my Meta Simplified guide. There's 3 episodes right there. Alright, check it out. It's gonna help you like figure out what we're talking about in this episode, because if you haven't watched those, or if you haven't done like a lot of studying, you're not gonna understand, right? So yes, without further ado, let's get into our first tournament. This right here is the first look at the Timeless Cup at the Hive. Alright? And one person swept it again. Guan87, what a monster, what a beast. Let's check out the teams. Alright, so these are the teams. This up top is the Guan87 winning formula. Alright, and the rest are people who placed 4 wins, 1 loss, because the Hive tournament was a 5-round tournament, right? So let's take a look at Guan's team. Now the tournament was actually live streamed, right? And after the tournament, he was asked, how did you come up with your team? And his answer was, well, I started off with nostalgia. His favorite starter, or his starter, was Charizard, right? And then he also really likes Haunter, and then he built a team out of that. That is crazy, okay? That is great. Like, I wish I was that good, just to go off nostalgia, because my starter was Pikachu. I had the Pokemon Yellow cartridge before any of the other cartridges, and I was building my team like similar to Ash from the anime, right? So yes, if you don't know what a cartridge is, I don't know what to say to you, man. I'm old, man. I'm old. But anyways, now we start off with Charizard and Haunter. Now that actually gives you some pretty good coverage already, right? Especially as safe swaps, they're very, very good. Let me show you what I mean, right? So for Haunter, example, versus Sealeo, you need to land the Shadow Ball, right? So yeah, you can kind of like get it, but it's a CMP tie and your opponent has to get you with the Aurora Beam, right? But what if you swapped in? If you swapped in, and let's say you just went straight Shadow Ball, but I mean, I'm pretty sure that Guan has this down like in some next level way in his head, right? So if you go straight Shadow Ball, look how close you are to getting to the next Shadow Ball. That's around, take a look at that, right? That's around 2 more Shadow Claws, right? And if you get 1, 2, 3 fast attacks on your opponent before your opponent swaps, and then brings in, let's say, a Sealeo, you can get Shadow Ball, making it a sure thing, right? But knowing him, he's gonna go for the Shadow Punch. I know what moves are, and then Shadow Ball type situation, or like he goes maybe charges up all the way and then throws 1 charge attack, and then it's up to your opponent to guess, is this a Shadow Punch or a Shadow Ball? And then he's probably not gonna get baited with a Body Slam type of situation, because he's just skilled like that. Now, if you were able to watch the live stream of this tournament, you would see how skilled he is. Like, he really goes for like a self piggyback, or he always goes for like the double, just to make sure that fast attacks don't get through whenever he throws charge moves. He's like that meticulous, is that the word? Meticulous with his gameplay. So yes, he's really good at using these Pokemon. Same thing with Charizard. You swap into like, let's say, a Venusaur, let's say, and then your opponent brings in a Lapras. You want to make it like a sure thing, but he's obviously like gonna get the bait. And so I don't know how he would play it, but I'm just speculating here. I'm just trying to like read into the mind of a next level player, right? So yes, take a look at that, right? That Blast Burn is gonna come after, let's say, maybe like 2 or 3 more fire spins, right? So if you get 1, 2, 3, 4, or like 1, 2, 3 fast attacks, you can throw the Blast Burn for how much damage? 103. It's at, when it kills Charizard, it's at 108. So you're probably most likely gonna kill that Lapras, most likely. Having these Pokemon with big damage moves and having them die very close to getting to like another like throw that would possibly kill the things that beat them, make them pretty good safe swaps, right? But that's just one possibility of how he could use them. See, the thing is, in the stream I saw him swap in Haunter onto something, I forget what it is, I have to review the clips, but yes, that's a pretty solid strat, right, that you could think of. Now Charizard is pretty good. It's a pretty hard counter to grass types. It loses to the dragons, but against the water ice types, it can actually beat Sealeo straight blast burn, right? That's something that I really like about Charizard. Now with Haunter, he ties with so many Pokemon, so getting that extra energy really helps, right? So with Haunter Charizard, you're a little bit weak to dragon types, right? So Ice Fang Drapion is a really good choice. Plus, since it adds even more grass type coverage, you can now bring in Whiscash, which is also a Dragon Slayer, Sealeo, which is also a Dragon Slayer, plus adds to Lapras coverage. It's kind of like a grass type actually, like Sealeo kills Lapras. Not really a grass type, but you know what I'm saying, right? And then to kind of like round off the team, just because I think you absolutely have to have at least one grass type on your team, right? He has a Victory Bell, which is, I think, one of the top choices for the Razor Leafer category. So if you look at his team, he's got threats to Lapras Sealeo, he's got threats to the Dragon types, he's got threats to the Grass types, he has Pokemon that beat the Fire types, he's got Pokemon for like general Water types, he's got Pokemon for Poison types, like Tentacruel, like Drapion, like Skuntank. He's got all of that, plus he's got, some pretty good safe swap options. He's also got Pokemon that have really good shield pressure, some really devastating finishers, some Pokemon that can actually deal DPS with just fast attacks, because that's actually something that I figured out because I tried a team that was purely like fast attack based. It sucked because I didn't have a lot of shield pressure, so I eventually like ran out of shields and got decimated, right? So it's a very well balanced team. This is a really good team. Now, if you take a good look at the overall spread for the starters, right? Only one person used Charizard. That's Guan, right? Yes, Guan was the only person to use Charizard among the like high-ranking players, and then only one person used Swampert. All right, interesting. And then most of the people who ranked up there, right, we're using a grass starter. Now, another thing that you can see here is that most of the competitors have one slot for a Mudboy, Whiscash, or Swampert, or Sudowoodo. Now, Sudowoodo is a lot like the Mudboys because it kills the poison types, but it's a side grade because it beats Lapras Sealeo. Okay, Whiscash can actually tie with Sealeo, which is really nice, but against Lapras, no. Okay, so they're like side grades. The Whiscash can kill the dragons, the Sudowoodo can kill Lapras Sealeo. Only one competitor did not have a Whiscash or a Sudowoodo, that is Pogo King. Alright, Senpai King. Alright, Sensei, Master, everybody's coach, King. And it makes a lot of sense because a lot of his Pokemon are actually weak to grass types. Even his grass type is weak to grass type because Meg loses to Venusaur, Meg loses to Ivysaur with return. So yeah, I mean, I guess he didn't want to add to like the grass type weakness plus the coverage, the poison type coverage. Like, he doesn't really need it. He's got Lapras Sealeo for that. I mean, they can handle most of the, like, they can handle Drapion. Skuntank, it's pretty close. Also, he doesn't really need the added dragon type coverage that Whiscash gives because, I mean, he's got Lapras Sealeo. Okay? So, yeah. Now, another thing that you see here is that most of the competitors have two Pokemon, at least two Pokemon that can handle grass types, right? It's usually a Dragonair plus it varies. Sunny Castform, you got Skuntank, you got Venomoth. It varies. Now, one competitor, Hockey Freak, only has Dragonair, but the thing is he has Venusaur, which is also a grass type killer, plus he has the double ice, and I guess they can kind of like kill grass types. Okay, Lapras can kill Venusaur, Sealeo can kill the grass types if you can land the Aurora Beam. But that's about it for the first look, right? Pretty good, I would say, like, pretty good variety, right? Moving on to the next tournament, which is the Weekday Warriors, which is the tournament that I'm in. Nice, alright, cool. My friend swept it, Luis. Yeah, got 5 wins. It's a 5-round tournament. It's a little bit smaller compared to the first look, just by I think like 7 players, but it's still a 5-round tournament. Let's take a look at the teams. Now the teams that we have here are a lot like the teams in the first tournament that we covered. Everybody has a Mud Boy, right? 1 slot for a Mud Boy, and then at least 2 slots for Pokemon that can handle grass types, right? But actually with our teams, it's almost like there's 3 Pokemon that can handle grass types, if you look at it, okay? But anyways, let's take a look at the champion team, the winning team, the JM Luis M winning formula, alright? Actually, before the tournament started, we were talking, me and him, right? And he was telling me that he made this team an hour before the tournament. I think because my friend had a Raichu. Okay, my other friend, Cyril, he had a Raichu, and he was telling me like, oh, he was the one who made Luis change his team. So well, it's a pretty solid team, right? He's got multiple Pokemon. He's got 3 Pokemon that handle the grass types, and he has like 3 Pokemon that are weak to the grass types. Actually, like if you count Lapras killing Venusaur, I guess it's 4 Pokemon that can actually like handle the grass types. So grass types, I think coverage is good. For Lapras Leo, Meganium is a much better Lapras Leo killer compared to like Venusaur, because Venusaur can lose to Lapras if it like double surfs, right? And Whiscash ties with Leo, which is nice, but I'd say that his team is like pretty weak to like the ice types, pretty weak to the ice types, right? But I mean, he's got Lapras, that's a mirror match against Leo, that loses. Venomoth loses to both, Dragonair loses to both, Whiscash loses to Lapras, like Drapion loses to both. I would say that his team is a little bit weak to like double ice. For the dragon types, I think he's got that covered like really well. He's got Lapras, he's got Drapion, he's got Whiscash, kills all 3. Meganium actually can kill the dragons, and yeah, pretty good coverage against the dragons. For the fire and the poison types, he's got fantastic coverage with Lapras, Whiscash, and Dragonair. So yeah, pretty well-rounded team. But that's another nice thing about the Timeless Cup. You can get to the point where your team doesn't really have a lot of holes, right? Pretty easily. So yeah, it just comes down to prediction and skill. Now, interesting team right here. Bailey Bryan 31 has almost the same team as Guan. Okay, he has Charizard, he doesn't have Haunter, he has Skuntank instead, right? Skuntank is a nice safe switch. Now, Skuntank can be a fantastic safe swap option if you have fantastic PvP IVs. If you don't, it's not gonna work, right? But the thing is, if let's say you swap into a Venusaur, you scare it away, you get a couple of fast attacks in, okay, you get enough for like a double Sludge Bomb, you don't have to bait, okay? So that's nice. You can actually go straight Crunch, I think. You can almost go, I've done this, you can go straight, like look how close it is, you can go 3 Crunches instead of 2 Sludge Bombs if you like, okay? So yeah, safe swap. And then he's got Drapion, he's got a Razor Leafer, and then he's got Whiscash Leo. So almost the same, except that he has Ludicolo and he has Skuntank. Now for the Razor Leafer of choice, I don't think that there's a lot to gain from comparing them, right? Not a lot, because the differences are insignificant. But for my recommendations, I have 2, right? 1, Victory Bell. Why? Acid Spray. That's the only reason, okay? That's the only reason, okay? The second one is Gloom with Return, because it kills all the other ones. That's it. Last thing, this team right here is Ranger Mimikyu's team. Take a good look. Just take a good look at it, okay? This team is a testament to how creative you can be. Alright, just find some synergies and make it like a rock solid team. Do I recommend it? If you're as good as him, sure. And for our final tournament, we have the Timeless Cup tournament. It doesn't have a title, right? From the LIGAPVP, okay? So, and one person swept it. I'm gonna say sorry in advance, okay? Niech. Did I get it? Are you cringing? I am so sorry. Now with this tournament, it is a completely different format. Double grass on all the teams. No Mud Boy. And then, well, like the previous tournaments, 2 Pokemon that can handle grass types. So, interesting. Alright, so with the Niech winning I'm so sorry. With the Niech winning formula, you have double grass, okay? Double grass, so you have to cover for the poisons, the fire types, so Lapras, Dragonair, has that. That's nice. Ninetales also a pretty good fire type killer. And yeah, now for the double dragons. Usually the second dragon is Kingdra, right? So you have that covered with the grass types, but the problem is Dragonair. For Dragonair, this team only has Lapras, right? So yeah, and then I mean, if the Dragonair, let's say, has Dragon Pulse, it could, yeah, it's a little bit difficult, right? That's a difficult situation. Now, if you look at the teams, the second placer, Netochka. Oh my god, I am so sorry. I'm just has more dragon coverage with Kingdra over Haunter, right? Kingdra usually beats Dragonair, but the thing is, I hear it's an IV thing, okay? So with more attack weighted, I don't know, but yes, has more dragon coverage with Kingdra. And actually, going back to the first tournament, the first look tournament, right? We have Hockey Freaks team, which has double grass, and then his answer to fire poison types is Sudowoodo, Lapras, Dragonair, and then he has more dragon coverage with Sileo plus Lapras coverage because Venusaur loses to Lapras, right? So this, I think this is the much better, this is the one that I recommend, but yeah, these are pretty solid. The Timeless Cup is currently looking like a pretty good buffet, right? There's some solid picks, alright? Solid picks, but you can mix it up, which is great, right? It's friggin' awesome. Let's hope that, you know, it doesn't end up like a Ferocious Cup at the end of the month, okay? But that's gonna be it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you learned something. Remember to leave a like, comment down below your current Timeless Cup team, and then let's give each other some positive feedback, alright? Don't just be like, you're trash, okay? Subscribe if you haven't yet, ding that notification bell, and I'll see you on the next one. My first Timeless Cup tournament coming soon, okay? Bye guys!